Hi everyone, Stepan here, playing crazy again, so it's 1.5, 1.5. So let's try to get a lead. Okay, last time I played Queen B6, I think, so this time I'm gonna go E6. This is what I used to play. I don't really play it anymore, but it's a fun setup that I enjoy playing. Okay, bishop f4. Oh, sorry, not bishop f4, bishop b4. He should go bishop f4. And black's idea in this fantasy Caro-Kann is to... Wait. Okay, so takes on e4, takes on e4, queen h4 check. Why isn't that good for me? So bishop c3, bc3, d4, fe4, queen h4 check seems fine. Unless he just doesn't take. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily want to develop his pieces. So I feel like knight f6 is correct. But then he goes bishop g5. I don't know this idea, to be honest. But against bishop g5, can I go queen a5? So knight f6, bishop g5, queen a5. I'm on the bishop, I'm on the c3 pawn. He plays queen d2. Probably I'm gonna have to take on f3 at some point. I'm still going knight f6, that's the most natural move. He takes? That's very strange. Why would he take? Okay, I'm gonna take back because I don't see why not. Am I not just a pawn up with a better pawn structure and a bad bishop? Now, I should mention that the last game did not go well. I played like an idiot. Okay, he wants to take on e4 or on g7. So if I take on c3, I'm looking at queen a5 first. So if I go queen a5, he takes on g7, I take on c3. He has to go king e2. Queen a5, queen g7, queen c3, king e2. Or king d1. Alternatively, I go knight f6, give up the g7 pawn, go rook g8, he goes queen h6. Okay, queen a5, queen g7, queen c3 check. king e2, let's say. Rook f8 seems forced. Then he has rook a3. Oh no, I have queen c4. And then on king d1. Yeah, I don't have queen takes d4 because his queen protects. I'm trying to make queen a5 work. Queen a5, queen g7. Queen c3. Let's say king d1. Rook f8. Rook a3. Queen back to a5. No, I don't like it. I'm going knight f6. Queen a5, I just couldn't make it work. Maybe it did work, but I couldn't. All right. Okay, let's just develop one piece first. He's gonna go bishop g5. I want to give myself the option to go queen a5. Maybe queen a5 did work. Okay, so queen a5, queen g7, queen c3 check, king d1, rook f8. I have to play rook f8. Then he plays rook a3. My queen is on c3. I cannot take on d4 with check, so I have to play queen a5 or queen b4. Let's say I go queen a5. That doesn't seem good to me. It doesn't seem good. I think knight f6 was the correct decision. Usually queen a5 is what you play in those positions, but one thing is certain, his king isn't going to be safe anywhere. Another thing is certain, my bishop is dreadful. So I'm gonna have to go b6 c5 at some point. Maybe I do start with b6 immediately, unless I have something with queen a5. I also have ideas like knight g4 or rook g6, although I don't see them working, especially not knight g4. Although knight g4, if queen h7, then knight df6, and the queen is forced to d3, I guess. I don't think I should give up a pawn like that. I wonder where his light squared bishop goes, if anywhere, because g2 is hanging. So he probably starts with something like knight f3. If I were him, I would definitely consider knight f3 to look at e5 and g5. But if knight f3, then queen a5, then probably either queen d2 or bishop d2. Very messy position. This is exactly what I want in training games. Okay. Wants to stop b6 and queen a5. That makes sense. So now I probably switch to e5 or just go c5 directly. Queen e7 feels correct. So does e5. But on queen e7 he has bishop a3, on queen c7 he has bishop f4. And my king is sort of caught in a mating net. So let's say queen e7, bishop a3, c5. How does that look? Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. So I'm gonna try to get my king to safety manually with rook g6, but that seems kind of risky. Okay, I'll go queen e7. I'm expecting bishop a3 and I'm gonna go c5. Maybe this isn't good, but I couldn't see another way to threaten to open my bishop up. So bishop a3 c5. The queen cannot get on the c5 pawn. There's no way. He could go bishop b5. Then I'm planning to go e5. And if he takes with the bishop on c5, I take on e5. Yeah, that's a problem. Bishop a3 c5, bishop b5 is a problem. So this doesn't work. I cannot go c5 because my c pawn is undefended. Yeah. Unless I go king d8. So c5, bishop b5, king d8. King d8 may be playable. I definitely don't want to go back to d8 with my queen, so I'm gonna do that. I'd rather have a king on d8 than a queen. Maybe I throw in rook g6 too, to try and defend the h7 pawn. Or at least to make sure that my... yeah. Now, do I throw in rook g6? Okay, so rook g6. The queen goes somewhere. Probably to e3 to put more pressure on c5. But I'm still gonna do it. To try and free up my h7 pawn, or to try and free up the knight. And then once the queen moves, I can also go king f8. I don't have to go king d8. And if he wishes triple pawns on the c file, he can just take. I don't really mind that. So queen e3, king f8. If bishop takes, then knight takes. I don't have any more coffee. I just took an empty sip. Seems weird to walk into another pin with king f8, but if I can get my king to g8, feels like I have better king safety than him. Also, there may be knight d5 against queen e3. Because at the end of the line, I have queen h4 check, followed by rook takes g3. Too complicated. This is too complicated to be a 15-minute game. If this was a tournament game, I'd spend 2 hours up to this point. Or an hour, because I wouldn't have 2 hours. Okay, now either knight d5 or king f8. So knight d5, he takes on d7. I take with the bishop, he takes on c5. I take on e3. Where can the queen move? So knight d5, where can the queen move? The queen can go to d3, e4, e2, f3. f3 seems like a good square. But I could go knight d5 and b6. Because he cannot open up his rook to both bishops. So knight d5, queen f3, b6, just defending the pawn. But then maybe c4 and my knight is pinned. I'm worried about king f8 and then dc5 because he's threatening c6. So I'm gonna go knight d5. I'm not gonna allow this double pin. At least this way my queen has a check available. And on queen f3 I may have rook f6. I didn't even consider c takes d4 because my queen didn't have a square anyway, so I couldn't do that. If he doesn't play queen f3 or queen e4, I'm playing b6. If he does play queen f3, I don't think I can go b6 because he plays c4. Unless I can go rook f6 against c4. Oof. Way too complicated. Queen f3, b6, c4, rook f6. If queen e4, knight c3, then queen a8, Do I have any checks? No, I don't have any good checks. I mean, I could go knight c7, but it doesn't seem good. Oof. Great, he didn't play queen f3. So now can I go queen h4 check? On g3 I take. Or on g3 I go queen e4, sorry. On king d1 I go queen g4. So queen h4 check, getting out of the pin. On queen f2 I go queen e4. On king d1 I go queen g4. I'm going for it. I don't want to waste too much time. He should have gone queen f3. Firstly, he'd have had g3 in this position. Secondly, he would have covered the e4 square. Thirdly, he would have been threatening c4 against b6. As it stands now, seems kind of scary for him. And you know what? King f1 may be the best move. Yeah, he should go king f1. Because he always has knight f3 to cover. Oof. Why king d1? Why? I'm picking too much material. I'm gonna take on G2 and take on G1. Way too much material. 2 rooks and a knight? That's too much. So let's double check. Rook G1, Queen G1, Knight G1, Rook G1, King E2, Rook A1, Bishop F1, Rook F1. Too many pieces. 2 rooks and the knight isn't good. Okay, now how do we save the pawn? He wants to go c4 and get rid of my knight and play knight f4. Okay, I have to prevent knight f4. So I'm going queen f3. He can take my pawns. I want to go rook g2. Or knight e3 check. Okay. Now can I defend the pawn? So b6, a takes, a takes. Bishop d7, bishop d7, bishop c5. I take the rook. I can go b6. Sorry for not talking. I'm trying to concentrate and not mess anything up in time trouble. Is he finally gonna take that pawn? No. Ah, he wants to do this and this. Nice one. But I'm gonna have to take on e2, I feel. So if I go rook b8, he takes on f5, I take on e2. That seems okay. I see what you're trying to do. I'm not allowing it. Oh, why didn't I take the pawn on a5? It's just a clean pawn. Maybe I can take it now. Just throw in a check. Let's just do that. Let's get out of all the pins. Finally, he was pinning me all over. See, I don't get that. Why couldn't I just take? Ah, because he takes on e6. Okay. I don't know what's correct. He still takes on e6. Can he do that? This is way too much for me in time trouble. Perhaps I could have thrown in rook g1 check as well, but the king ends up on d2. But I feel like he loses his rook now. Okay, let's be precise. So rook g1, king d2, rook g2. I don't know, I just want some time on the clock. I'm trying to get his king to a light square. I'm trying to win the rook. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Yeah, it did work. Now he wants to take here, but I'm gonna take on d4. Okay. My God. This was very intense. What did I end up being up? A rook and knight? Whoa. Okay. Okay. Let's see. F3. E6. Knight C3. Bishop B4. I don't know A3. Okay. Bishop C3. BC3. D4. And I don't know A4. The position I do know is here, bishop D2. This I know. This I know. I don't know A3. Okay, let's turn the engine on since we're out of book. So I should have gone C5. Knight F6 is a blunder. Okay. Knight E4, Queen G4. Yeah, Queen A5 probably didn't work. Wait, let's see. Wait, it did work? Rook F8, Rook A3. Oh, Knight F2 check. Oh. Okay. So big advantage for white. C5, Bishop B5. Wow. Yeah, Queen F3. He should have gone Queen F3. Queen H4 check. I presumed King F1 was best. Now it says Queen F2 is best. Don't I have Queen E4 check? I guess not. Oh, this is nice. This is very nice. I didn't see this. This I did see. If he goes Rook G1, I just take, and he loses a million pieces. Wow, B6. Bishop C6 losing. Why? Rook B8. C4. Sorry, why am I not allowed to move my knight? I don't get this. What if I go knight e3? Oh, it's on my queen. Oh, stupid. Yeah, okay. This is a double attack on my queen and on my rook. I didn't see that. King b2. Queen e3. As it turns out, in most crazy positions, they become equal. I should not have taken. I should have gone king d8 straight away, but okay. King f8, blunder because of d5. I should have gone king d8. It actually does make way more sense. Okay, rook g4. I don't know why he sacked a piece. He should not have done that. There was no need for that. He could have gotten the piece back with, yeah, bishop d5. Makes sense. I would have gone knight f6 there. Yeah, rook d6 dubious. Yeah, he had to go to a dark square, although I don't know where. Let's say king c1. I guess I can wait. Yeah. Oof. This was one of the most complex games I played recently, and it's... I mean, I should have lost. I wasn't familiar with A3. Yeah, but I pulled through. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something from the game. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye-bye.